My name is Cosmin Popan. I have just finished and successfully defended my PhD at Lancaster University in sociology, and we were looking at radically engineering mobilities in cities. As part of that, I have particularly investigated the future of urban mobilities and tried to shift the focus from what is considered to represent the future, which is very much around the car, and futures concerning automobility as the natural way forward, by actually arguing that there is a case that we can have a system which would revolve around cycling and the bicycle as a way to move in cities. More specifically, I have looked at three different ways in which such a bicycle system, as I call it, could come into existence. On the one hand, I have looked at current trends within cycling. I have looked at various policies, various infrastructures, various cycling cultures, particularly in countries with cycling tradition, and extrapolated actually from there, imagining how a future bicycle system could look like in the year 2050. That was one of the ways in which my work towards this aim worked. A second thing that I have done was proposing and raising a critique towards automobility and the system of the car as the natural way to go about in our everyday mobilities. And I have criticized not only the current system of automobility, but also the various ideas of the future of automobility concerning, for example, automated cars, concerning electric vehicles, concerning interconnected cars, and arguing actually that these ideas of the future are not necessarily challenging automobility as such, and they don't really present an alternative to the car. Thirdly, I have looked at the types of individuals and societies, and that's where my work as a sociologist comes into play, looking at the kinds of individuals and societies that such a system would require, and also it would make possible. So part of my empirical research involved looking at the way in which senses operate differently for cyclists, as well as the sociabilities of cycling, the ways in which cyclists interact to one another as they cycle together. I have looked at these two particular things, the senses and sociabilities, to present an alternative understanding of what well-being means, the ways in which the body, for example, engages with the bicycles as they cycle is a different, creates a different meaning, different rhythms for urban mobilities, which are arguably more meaningful and better than the current very automatic and very mechanical rhythms of automobility. On the other hand, for example, with sociabilities, I have looked at how instances where cyclists cycle together and the kind of interactions that they get involved with, they reconfigure the spaces of the road from very functional environments, very utilitarian environments, into more playful sort of spaces where sociabilities, where ways of being more convivial take place. And finally, what I have done was arguing for a type of cycling which not just replaces automobility in terms of velocities, in terms of speeds, but also I am arguing for a system of cycling, of the bicycle, which would also require slower velocities. Because my argument is that not only engages more people with the practice, but also considers differently the way we think about moving around in cities, with actually important repercussions on the way societies function, the way we think about work, economic growth as a taken for granted and natural way to go about the future of our societies.